You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome to the program, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. So Pelosi has given her first interview since her husband's 2:30 a.m. incident with a nudist. Now, you wives out there, just ask yourself, what would be going through your mind if your husband had an incident at 2:30 in the morning when you were out of town with a nudist?
Well, I'm guessing he's had many incidents. These are just the ones that are public.
Yeah.
I don't think this is his first rodeo.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've been married a long time. I'm sure she's had many issues with him.
Oh, yeah.
And vice versa.
I can tell. So she gave her first interview, and I'm going to tip you off to what to listen to in this interview, okay? This is just a clip. But Nancy is so full of it here, okay? There's a part where she breaks down, has difficult time completing the sentence, so she claims. And she's choking up in tears. I think she's faking. I watched the video. I saw no tears. I didn't see her wipe. I didn't see any sniffles. It's completely fake, completely contrived. Listen to this. This is Nancy today.
I was sleeping in Washington, D.C. I had just gotten in the night before from San Francisco. And I hear the doorbell ring and think, 5 something. I look up, I see it's 5. They must be the wrong apartment. No, it rings again, and then bang, 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 bang on the door. So I run to the door, and I'm very scared. I see this Capitol Police, and they said, we have to come in to talk to you. And I'm thinking, my children, my grandchildren. I never thought it would be Paul, because I knew he wouldn't be out and about, shall we say. And so came in at that time. We didn't even know where he was or what his condition was. We just knew there was an assault on him in our home.
Okay. Yeah, fake crying. She doesn't really truly sound upset. And here's the story that as it's written. In her first television interview since her 82-year-old husband suffered skull fractures in the hammer attack, Nancy Pelosi told CNN she was scared when she heard a bang at the door and assumed whoever was there got the wrong door. I look up, I see it's 5 a.m. They must be at the wrong apartment, which you just heard her say. She said in the interview, which will air in its entirety 8 p.m. Monday night. So I run to the door. I'm very scared, Pelosi told Anderson Cooper, a very friendly interviewer, a friend of hers.
Just in time for the elections tomorrow.
Yeah. I see the Capitol Police and they say, we have to come in to talk to you. Pelosi said she immediately thought about her grandchildren, her children, initially thought the news wouldn't pertain to her husband because he isn't normally out and about. Really? He just had that DUI.
Yeah, interesting.
In Napa Valley. I don't know what she's talking about. David DePape, that's how they're saying his name on TV, P-A-P-E. I thought it was Pappy, but anyway, David DePape is charged with 6 counts relating to the attack, including attempted murder, burglary, assault, false imprisonment, and threatening the family member of a public official. He's pleaded not guilty. After the attack 2 weeks ago, immigration revealed that he was in the country illegally from Canada. You know, we are more than a week away from this, and we still have zero information. And Megyn Kelly has been talking a lot about this on her Sirius satellite radio show, and she's been asking questions like all of us have been asking. And Nancy Pelosi has attacked her, and she's been attacked by the New York Times. Listen, Megyn Kelly has criticized the New York Times for including her in an article which accuses right-wing politicians and commentators, that's us, right-wing commentators, of circulating misinformation about the attack on Paul Pelosi. Talk show host Megyn Kelly said the paper, the New York Times, must grow up and do your job after the New York Times singled her out because she raised doubts about the facts that were being disclosed. She says this is called journalism. You know, listen, Nancy Pelosi's husband was up to something with this guy, okay? This guy, maybe we'll be wrong, but let's see here, 7, 8, 9, 10. This was 10 days ago. And all these rumors, and they're attacking us all for saying, well, you're saying misinformation. They have cameras all over that place. The Capitol Police told us last week that they have a 24-hour video monitoring going on of the residence. They could release even a still from the video showing him breaking in, and it would all be settled. But 10 days, they haven't released anything. Of course, people have questions. There's something that they're not sharing with us. And if they would just release the video, it would all be settled and there would be no more speculation. But I made a prediction early last week that is now coming true. It was reported over the weekend. Nancy Pelosi plans on resigning from her seat not long after the election. She'll probably stay there a few months. But after she's no longer speaker, she's going to resign from her seat. And she's trying to angle to keep the family crime business going and get her daughter to fill her seat, the documentary filmmaker.
Yeah.
And this is where Pelosi is going to run into some trouble. I know her brother's the governor. I don't know the process in California. If someone knows, let me know in the comments.
You mean her nephew's the governor?
Yeah, the nephew. I'm sorry. What did I say?
You said brother.
It might as well be. Okay, it's all in the family.
Yeah.
I didn't even bother Googling this, but you guys can let me know in the comments how it works. Some states are different than others. Some states require an election right away. Some states require an election within a certain period of time. Some states require an election if there's so much left in the term. The governors get to appoint in some instances. I don't know what the process is in California for this. Could Newsom just appoint the daughter of Pelosi, or does she have to run?
Doesn't seem very, their whole messaging with this election is democracy is on the ballot.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem very democratic to have her daughter appointed to a position. That's not how it works in this country. You have to elect your representatives.
No, they're nobility. They're royalty.
So that's not very democratic as far as I can tell.
Well, to them it is. They think they're royalty. And
I can't imagine the people in San Francisco would be cool with this.
Well, there's a lot of people in San Francisco who think that it's time for them to be the congressperson in that district.
I think they've had enough of her and her family. And, this is their chance. And but you told me nobody's running against her.
No one's running against Nancy.
She's going to get elected no matter what.
But if
she can do whatever the hell she wants.
But if she resigns and there's an election, it's open seats, fair game.
How does it work in California?
That's what I said. I don't know. I don't know how California works.
Well, we know Newsom is not an honest, trustworthy guy either. So he'll appoint whoever she says.
This is where Nancy and Paul are going to run into trouble with his little party lifestyle when his wife's away. Okay. There are a lot of people that are Democrat office holders that think that it is time for someone whose name's not Pelosi to fill that seat and that they should fill that seat. So now that she's on her way out as speaker, she's on her way out of Congress, she's not going to be as powerful and influential tomorrow night as she is this night. So what I'm guessing is going to happen is to get rid of the Pelosi. Believe me, Nancy is a nasty person, and there's a lot of Democrats in San Francisco who know her and have interactions with her and her family much more than we could ever imagine, and they hate them like the plague. Okay,
do you think so? I don't know. Maybe they love them there.
No.
Democrats are weird.
There's a lot of people who want to have that seat, and so the problem that the Pelosi's are going to run into, depending on who wants the seat instead of the daughter who thinks they should have it, information might start leaking out about other things that Paul has had so far as late night adventures when his wife's been away.
Well, if she appoints her, it wouldn't be for long. It would be like, 18 months and she would not get reelected. I can't.
You don't know. I mean, look at this Murkowski up in Alaska. Her father gave her the seat and she's been there for 500 years. So that's what happens.
They always seem to find a way.
Paul Pelosi was a little too calm, cool, and collected to have a home invader hit him in the head with a hammer when the cops came over. He's had run-ins with law enforcement before, Paul Pelosi.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't their first visit to that house.
No, so I'm expecting the Democrats of San Francisco to start leaking stuff out. Now, Joe Biden's in trouble, and I know typically people will say, he's a Democrat, nothing's going to happen to him. That typically is true, but this is an exception to the rule. The Democrats want Biden out of the way too, okay? He's costing them this midterm election. This is going to be the largest midterm election defeat in the history of either of the major parties. They want him out. So scandals that normally a Democrat like Biden have a complete license to do and can get away with, they're not going to be able to get away with as much because a lot of Democrats are going to use this to get him out of the way. Listen to this. I'm going to play you some audio too. A whistleblower has identified themselves to Senate investigators, but asked to remain anonymous out of fear for reprisals. Now listen to this. Now you got to understand, we're going to have a new Senate there. So all these committees, that wonderful people like in the House, you got Adam Schiff who chairs committees. All these Democrat jerks are no longer going to be chairing committees, okay? Our MAGA Republicans are. So these committees are going to get to some stuff. The informant says they were party to a 2012 conference. Now, 2012, that's important because Biden was, well, he was vice president of the United States, sadly, then, okay? The informant says that they were party to a 2012 conference call involving then Vice President Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, his business partner Jeff Cooper, as well as the late Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid and Harry Reid's son, who was also in business with Hunter at the time. The spring 2012 call was about Hunter, Harry Reid's son, and Jeff's new venture into online gambling in Latin America. The whistleblower said all of this, adding that Joe was, and again, he's told the Senate he's ready to testify. We're going to have a new Senate here right quick. Adding that Joe Biden was active on the call discussing details of the business and appeared to be involved as a silent partner, even though he was vice president of the United States, and that would be illegal at the time. He wasn't passive, speaking of Joe Biden. He was talking about it. If I had to describe him, he was like a member of the board of directors, the informant said. In a statement, they denied that the call ever happened, blah, blah, blah. Now, let me play the clip here. This is the whistleblower, did an interview. Now, they're completely blacked out. You can't see them. They've disguised their voice. They're smart, right? They don't want people to know who. Yeah. But the Bidens know who he is because they were in on the meeting.
Exactly.
Listen.
So explain for me what this conference call was all about.
I was involved with Ocho. There was a conference call I overheard incidentally. On that conference call were Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, Jeff Cooper, Harry Reid, and Key Reid. The reason that they were talking about it is that this is an internet gaming and gambling company. What they were specifically talking about was how the business development was happening. They were joyous that they had just gotten an agreement tacitly with the government of Peru for a license. The thing that was outstanding, or obvious more than anything else, is Joe Biden was directly involved in this business activity. He wasn't passive. He was talking about it. If I had to describe him, he was like a member of the board of directors. Maybe because of his prominent position, I would even describe him as the chairman of the board. And this nonsense that he's not involved in his son's activities is exactly that. He's flying, Hunter all over the world for his compromised business deals. Why would he be flying, a 40-something son around the world to pursue his business deals if he wasn't involved?
Okay. So Biden's in big trouble. We're going to have, we're going to have a new Senate and a new House. All these committees are going to have people that are really interested in getting information. The Democrats hate Biden already. They're going to really be pissed at him when they have lost everything because he's so checked out.
They don't want him to run again, and he's acting like he's going to run again.
That's right.
He's a disaster. He's an absolute disaster for them. They don't want him around another 4 years on top of what they're dealing with already because they will lose every election for the next. He's just not effective at all. He's the opposite of effective. Yeah. So you're right. They don't want him. So, they want somebody younger.
That's
they
right.
want a Newsom type.
And they're going to use this scandal to get him not to run.
I think so.
That's what's going to happen.
It's amazing to me with this election because they had a Democratic strategist on CNN saying that the Democrats have gotten so radical, and she said they have completely ignored the voters, and they completely are ignoring the issues that matter to the voters. And the reason she said this is why they're losing, because they all are on the take and they have a radical agenda. They've aligned themselves with this transgender messaging, with no cash bail or whatever you want to call it, letting these criminals out for whatever reason. You can speculate, and they have aligned themselves with these radical ideas. And I guess they don't care that they're going to lose all these elections because they don't seem to be changing or trying to stop what's going on. They're not stopping the bleeding. I don't understand, why they're not fixing the problems that people really care about. Are they just so out of touch? Can they not admit they're wrong? Are they being bought off? I don't get it, but they're going to lose big time tomorrow. I can't wait. And this is going to continue over the next few election cycles, because I don't see them changing anything anytime soon or pulling back or making any positive changes with the party. And they're losing the Hispanic. I'm telling you, I think Miami-Dade is going to flip red. That has not happened in 20 years. And I said that to you the other day yesterday after Trump's rally. And I said, I think, because they've shifted the Hispanic vote so much, and I said to you, I think Miami could actually turn red. If they lose Miami, Florida will no longer be a swing state. It'll be a solid red state, because that is I think it's the biggest county in the state, Miami and Jacksonville maybe. But if they lose Miami, Florida is no longer a swing state.
I don't think it's a swing state now.
It's a solid red.
I think this is a red state now. I think there's no getting now.
Well, it'll be even more so for sure.
Now here in Florida, I hate for this news to get out because it makes people afraid of Florida. Kathy and I, we just found out today out of the blue. I don't know how we missed this all weekend. We've got another hurricane coming that's going to hit us when?
I just found out today.
When's it going to hit us? Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday. It's hitting Jupiter, which is where Don Jr. lives.
Yeah, now
Category 1.
Now, a Category 1 hurricane is not that bad. There's no such thing as a good hurricane, but a Category 1 typically is not that big of a deal.
They're not even really covering it on the Weather Channel.
No, and it's
like nothing.
It's not really getting covered. One of our neighbors put up their shutters today.
Yeah.
There'll
be no storm surge. That's why, too.
It's going to hit the county that we live in.
The very northern part.
I'm going to wait and see what the updates are tomorrow and decide whether or not I'm going to put up the hurricane shutters. I really hate putting up the hurricane
hope it doesn't
shutters.
keep people from voting.
Yeah.
Because it is going to get windy. And
tomorrow, on Election Day, the weather may start to get bad.
Yeah. Now, they did say on the news that so far with early voting, this is remarkable, 670,000 Democrats have voted and 1.15 million Republicans have voted. That's almost twice as many in Florida. And they said that's a complete reversal. And I know Trump has told Republicans to wait till tomorrow. I hope that's not bad advice, because the weather is going to change. And it is going to get very windy because the storm is coming. But I think it'll be okay. It's not set to hit till Wednesday night. So just try to get out and vote early for sure in the morning if you can.
I like to vote on Election Day. And I do. And only one time did I do early voting, and maybe twice over all the years that it's been in existence. And I like voting on Election Day. It's kind of like a thing. It's an experience. I hope it goes better than it did on the primary day. If you guys follow me on YouTube, I made a YouTube video about this. I was harassed by a poll worker on the primary day a couple months back. And, you show up to vote wearing your MAGA hat and a Trump shirt. So, the poll workers typically are liberals, and right away they just hate you. So I am going to wear, when I go and vote tomorrow, I'm going to wear my Make America Great Again hat, my bright red one that has Make America Great on it. And as large font that's possible to have.
The one that Trump was wearing yesterday.
The one Trump wore yesterday.
Yeah, the same one, yeah.
And I'm going to wear my Ron DeSantis, one of my Ron DeSantis' shirts. I'm not sure which one. So
I like the Top Gov.
I might wear that one unless it's not clean.
That's my favorite.
But if the poll workers want to get upset with me, let them get upset. And those of you that live in Florida, I cannot speak for the other states. I can only speak for Florida because I'm in Florida. You are allowed to wear your candidate's merch when you go and vote. Do not let them tell you cannot. Now, a campaign cannot campaign within a certain number of feet from a polling location, but as a voter, like me, I'm going to wear a DeSantis t-shirt and my Make America Great Again hat. That is perfectly fine. And don't let anyone tell you that it's not.
Well, I'm excited because we drove by our neighbor's house. They have a DeSantis sign in the yard.
Our new neighbors.
So that's pretty cool.
Well, I told you guys, we, real estate's hot in Florida. Every house is for sale. And when the houses in our neighborhood, and we have new neighbors, and there's several houses for sale on our street just in the last week. Anytime I see people coming to look at the houses, I always put on my Make America Great Again hat, and I go outside and pretend to be busy so they know they're on a MAGA street. I want them to know, and it's worked out pretty good so far.
Maybe. Yeah.
The real estate agents might not like it.
Maybe not.
But I like it, and we want to make sure that we are in a certain kind of neighborhood. And I'll tell you, it worked out well because the people that moved in directly next door to us, they got the DeSantis sign in the hat in the yard. They're actually friends with Brian Walsh that owns Wings Plus, where I was just at with Governor DeSantis a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, because you were outside wearing your Trump hat, and he was talking. He said,
"He's like, nice hat, yeah."
He's, "I like your hat."
That's right. That's right.
That's how you know.
I want to live in a MAGA neighborhood, and that's
all
the way
these
it is.
people are. Now he's a Floridian, so because he said he knew Brian Walsh from high school, Brian Walsh's son. But a lot of people moving here, we see plates from all around. I'm assuming they are moving to Florida because they like Ron DeSantis. So
why is
it a given? Plus,
so
many more Republicans have registered. I think they're just fed up with it. It's kind of fun to watch the Democrats implode, and all you're hearing, their whole talking point is democracy is on the ballot, and that's all you've been hearing from everybody. And this Democratic strategist that was on CNN, she said that is just such a stupid strategy. She said they're not even dealing with any of the issues. They're just trying to scare people into voting for them. And she said they're not addressing the real problems that Americans are talking about, like inflation and gas and all this stuff and the crime. And she said telling people democracy is on the ballot is just not going to work for them. And voting them out is the height of democracy. Like I said, appointing Nancy Pelosi's daughter is not democratic, but voting out these woke radical liberals is democracy. And just because they don't agree with us, so they're saying half the country's dangerous, and because we don't agree with them, that's not democracy. I mean, I don't know how this whole thinking of theirs came about. They're insane.
Democrats are scummy people. Listen, Democrats enslaved black people.
That's right.
Democrats put Americans of Japanese descent in internment camps.
They were in the Klan.
Democrats were the Ku Klux Klan. That's right. Democrats were behind the Tuskegee experiments. Yeah. Okay, you go through American history, and there's any one of these incidents that the leftists think America needs to apologize for, there's a Democrat behind it. Even the Indians, Andrew Jackson, right? So, even the things with everything that you look back on this country and say,
everything that's a stain on this country.
Brought to you by the Democrats.
That's right.
So they've always been scummy, terrible, low-life people. They've never changed. No. Now, listen, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. There's a lot going on, right? The blue flush is right around the corner. I'm Brian, joined by my wife and co-host, thankfully, and we'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
The newly released poetry book, Broken Wings Can Fly Too, from author Paulina Sophia, engages in free thinking and challenges the constructs of our society. This must-read book helps readers gain a new understanding of womanhood and nature. Order now. Broken Wings Can Fly Too, from author Paulina Sophia, available in Kindle and paperback on Amazon. Millions of kids ride the bus to and from school every day. When your child is new to bus riding, there are safety rules they need to know to make their journey enjoyable. The book from author Millie D'Onofrio, The Bus Ride to School, available on Amazon, tells children how much fun a school bus ride can be if you listen and follow the safety rules of the bus driver. The Bus Ride to School is filled with great illustrations, as well as a cute melodic tone to it. It's educational and fun, perfect for your children, grandchildren, and teachers for classroom reading. The Bus Ride to School, from author Millie D'Onofrio. Order your copy right now on Amazon. Want to know where all the bodies are buried? Author Robert Allen Miltenberg holds the key to that question in his book, Pool Boy to the Mob, Everybody Out of the Pool. Author Robert Allen Miltenberg holds the key to that question in his book, Pool Boy to the Mob. Welcome to Mob-Ammy Beach. This book is a fictionalized account of Miltenberg working at a mob-owned Miami Beach hotel in the 70s. If you're a fan of The Godfather, Goodfellas, or The Sopranos, you will love this story that's full of colorful characters and wisecracking wise guys. It's a story with everything from Playboy bunnies and weaponized parrots to shattering the glass ceiling and getting away with murder, all in paradise. This is a wise guy tale you've never heard. Surrounded by pools, the trick for Bobby Moskowitz was not slipping in the one thicker than water. Bobby lived to tell the tales, and now you can read all about it. The funniest mob novel since Jimmy Breslin's The Gang That Couldn't Shoot Straight. Pool Boy to the Mob, Everybody Out of the Pool, from author Robert Allen Miltenberg, available on Amazon. Order your copy right now.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. So just looked during the break, and Thursday morning at 1 a.m., we are supposed to have a Category 1 hurricane hitting us in our part of Florida. The last hurricane hit on the Gulf Coast. This one is hitting on the South Florida Atlantic coast.
I didn't even know. I've been so busy recovering from my surgery. I haven't paid attention to the news. I usually watch the local news every night. And I got an alert on my phone this morning around 10 o'clock that said you're under a hurricane watch or hurricane warning.
Yeah.
And I said, what the heck? I'm under a hurricane warning. Mm-hmm. This is new. So I go to my hurricane app and I see there's a Category 1 that's going to hit Palm Beach, northern Palm Beach, southern Martin County. So I'm really worried about my dad because he lives right on the ocean in Martin County. So he's putting up his shutters today. He's been through many hurricanes, though. He's lived in Florida since the 50s, so I think he can handle it.
This hurricane is a Category 1, which is the smallest hurricane there is.
Yeah, and it's going to be on the low end, like 75 miles an hour.
Yeah, and when they give you hurricane winds, 75 miles an hour is the Category 1. It doesn't mean that all the winds are 75 miles an hour and constantly 75 miles an hour. They get up to that.
Exactly.
So, so Category 1, we have been hit directly with Category 1s without putting up our hurricane shutters. But tomorrow, I'm going to make the decision on whether or not we're going to put up the shutters.
I don't think you need to.
I'm probably not going to put up the shutters with the
because
Category
we're going
1.
to get the very bottom end. We probably get winds we'll probably get tropical storm winds.
One of our neighbors, they put their shutters up. I think that's a little premature. But so we'll be playing that by ear. All right, so let's get to the liberal disaster, okay? And that's Elon Musk buying Twitter. So, I have heard from people, many people actually, that are listeners to the program saying, why are you talking about Twitter so much? Who cares? I'm not on Twitter. And a lot of people think because they're not doing it, no one is, okay? There are lots of things, like I don't watch football, but I'm not so naive or self-centered to think that football is not a big thing. I cannot tell you the name of one player on one team in the NFL today, but I'm very well aware that football is a big thing, okay?
You named Tom Brady.
I thought he retired. He's back.
He just won a game.
That's true. Yeah.
Finally won a game this season.
Yeah. Okay. Tom Brady.
Touchdown in the very, very last few minutes.
So just because you may not be on Twitter does not mean that many, many people are, and that it's important.
Well, Twitter's the place to be now because all these liberal snowflakes are leaving
Twitter and Truth.
And it's becoming a place of MAGA.
That's right. Well, see, here's the thing with Twitter, okay? I've told you guys this. Twitter, the media are obsessed with Twitter. And Twitter, for about the last 6 or 7 years, has been the driving force of all of the news in our society, from entertainment to political news and everything in between. And that's just the way it is. And Elon Musk taking over is causing liberal meltdowns all over the place. So over the weekend, I woke up this morning and saw this. Elon Musk banned for life Kathy Griffin.
Yeah.
And Kathy Griffin is a terrible person. She's
a sad person.
That thing she did with President Trump, a few years ago, she should have gone to jail for that, honestly. If a conservative did that to a Democrat, I would be disgusted and outraged by it.
Bad.
And he banned her from Twitter because she turned her account's name into Elon Musk and she was pretending to be him and saying all kinds of crazy things. And you can have a parody account if it's clearly a parody account and it says that on that. She did not do that. So she got a lifetime ban, like Twitter gave to the great President Trump. And she had a freak out. And so it took her a little bit of time. She had to get the login information. I don't know how she did it, but she was able to log into her dead mother's Twitter account. And then she started tweeting things about Elon Musk on her dead mom's Twitter account. I would love to know the story of what went on with Kathy Griffin to get the login information on her dead mother's Twitter account. I don't know how she did it, but she did it. So
she's got a lot of time on her hands because nobody will hire her.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So
she's destroyed her career.
Yeah.
And I don't understand people that are not political, they don't work in politics.
Yeah.
I don't understand these celebrities and these comedians that just destroy their careers.
No, I don't get it either.
Over these politicians. It's just, and these other people like Elon, it's so not worth it.
No.
It's so not worth it. No. She's not going to influence anybody, change any elections, nothing like that. But some people, especially liberals, feel the absolute need to share their political opinions with the world and to be nasty about it. And, she is just very self-destructive and clearly has a lot of issues with powerful men.
So today, Whoopi Goldberg is in solidarity with Kathy Griffin, and she went on The View.
Well, she'll regret that.
Is it Kathy Griffin or Kathy Griffith like Andy Griffith? I think it's Griffin.
I think it's Griffin.
Griffin. Yeah. So here's Whoopi on The View today.
So it has been a little over a week since Elon Musk took over Twitter, and the place it's a mess. He's already called back some of the workforce he fired a few days ago. He's putting his $8 charge for blue check verification on hold. First it was going to be $20, now it's going to be $8. He also suspended Kathy Griffin for impersonating him on a parody account, which has started a free Kathy hashtag to trend. I'm getting off. I'm getting off today because I just feel like, it's so messy. Yeah. And I'm tired of now having had certain kinds of attitudes blocked and now they're back on. Yeah. And I'm going to get out. And if it settles down and I feel more comfortable, maybe I'll come back. But as of tonight, I'm done with Twitter.
As of tonight?
She's okay with conservative opinions being blocked, but not liberal opinions.
Now, why is she waiting for tonight? And why is she staying there all day?
She'll be back.
The reason she's doing it tonight is so she can read what people say about her all day. And you notice Whoopi is she's not deleting her account or anything. She's just going to stop tweeting for a little while.
Yeah, she'll be back.
Now, Elon Musk has not changed too much at Twitter.
He needs to bring back Roseanne.
He fired a bunch of people, and he talked about this after. He says Twitter was losing over $4 million a day because these wokesters got these big corporate advertisers to cancel, so they started losing $4 million a day, and that's why he did it. He didn't want to do it, but he had to. But, something came out today about the blue check mark. It came out over the weekend that the group at Twitter – now, this is an allegation that has been reported in multiple places, but it has not been proven in a court of law. There's an allegation going on that the blue checkmark approval portion, the people that denied me for years, I gave up a long time ago, that they were actually taking bribes of over $100,000 to give people blue check marks.
I believe that.
And I saw one person that was reported paid $115,000 for a blue check mark that now you can get for $8. And and isn't that something?
Quite a bargain.
And and there's a lot of criminal activity that was going on with these people at Twitter. Now, I did join Twitter Blue over the weekend, which is what is supposed to get you the check mark. I do not have my check mark yet. Someone told me today that that's going to start happening after Tuesday. I don't know. But I joined the Twitter Blue, and it was only $5. Some people get a discount for some reason. I don't know why I qualified for the discount. I got it for $4.99, $5. And it's actually, I don't have my check mark yet, but it's got some features on it that I like, okay? I got to change the color of the icon and of the configuration. And my kind of
cool.
Yeah, my favorite color is orange. So I changed, my whole Twitter is now orange. And when you're Twitter Blue, you can, I did not know this was available, or I would have probably joined Twitter Blue long ago. You can edit your tweets.
For 30 minutes. You have up to 30 minutes.
Up to 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I have so many damn typos when I tweet, and it's embarrassing. And so I end up deleting the tweet if I catch it. So now I can edit them, which is nice. So I like this, you know. And when you go to send a tweet, it shows it to you, and it doesn't send it for 30 seconds in case you want to make an edit right away, but you have up to 30 minutes. I like that. I'm looking forward to getting my blue check mark. And a lot of people keep telling me, okay, I'm not going to get a blue. I'm not going to pay. I'm not going to. Well, that's fine. The reason that I am paying to get the blue check mark is because I want to put this blue check mark class out of business. You hear Whoopi Goldberg, and and when you hear the celebrities, AOC, Whoopi Goldberg, and the rest, they are so upset that regular non-celebrities are going to be able to have blue check marks.
Yeah.
And you can hear, and that bugs them more than anything else. And I think everyone who can should join Twitter Blue for the blue check mark just for a month at least, and we can do this I am Spartacus thing.
Yeah, we need to get back on Twitter because
and we should all have blue check marks.
It's going to become a place for MAGA now. All these snowflakes are leaving, like they're but they'll be back, like they're going to move to Canada. They just can't handle people that have a different opinion than them. They really can't handle it. They either get violent, they shut you down, they stop being your friend, they divorce you. Mm-hmm. They just cannot handle anybody that doesn't agree with them. And I love how Whoopi said that she's upset because they don't let other opinions on there, but she was fine with Roseanne being. How come when Roseanne was blocked?
That's right. Where was she?
I'm sure her and Roseanne are friends from a long time.
Yeah.
They came up through the comedy circuit together. She's older than Kathy Griffin. I'm sure they're the same age. How come she didn't say anything when Roseanne got banned off Twitter? Because she's conservative. That's why. I mean, it's ridiculous.
And let me tell you,
good riddance. Bye, Felicia.
It's so revealing to hear AOC, Whoopi, and all the rest of the celebrities just so upset that regular people are getting blue check marks. This reminds me of, a lot of you don't remember this, it's been a long time, because it's been over 20 years. But the first season of Survivor, which was in 2000, okay? I can't believe it's been that long. When the first season of Survivor was the biggest show on network television since like Hill Street Blues and those kind of shows. I mean, there had not been a show on network television as big as Survivor in its debut for like 30 years.
I was thinking the same thing.
And it was crazy. And celebrity and reality TV had been around. Mm-hmm. There was the Real World and stuff, but there had never been Survivor isn't really reality TV. I consider it a game show, but everybody else considers it reality TV. But it's really a game show for $1 million. But anyway, when Survivor became number one, actors in scripted television shows were freaking out. And there were two things that I remember about this, okay? One was Jennifer Aniston, and the other one was David Letterman. I'll tell you the Jennifer Aniston one first. I was watching Entertainment Tonight, and they had a red carpet premiere, and they asked, Kevin Sorbo was there, and Jennifer Aniston. And they asked them both, are you watching Survivor? And Jennifer Aniston and Kevin Sorbo both said the same thing. I support actors. And then Jennifer Aniston says, I don't know why anyone cares about these people. They're just regular people. They're not even actors. Why do people care about them?
Why do people care about her?
Exactly.
I mean, why is she so special?
And David Letterman had his show then, right? And it was popular. And his show was CBS, so it was on the same network as Survivor. So he was required by the network each week to have as a guest whoever got voted off the island. This was in 2000. And actors started to boycott David Letterman and would not appear on the show with Survivor contestants.
Egos.
So what David Letterman did, this is in 2000.
I remember
and this fits into the blue checkmark thing. He couldn't have the Survivor guest come out on the set and sit down on the couch or the chairs.
Because they're not worthy.
Because they're not celebrities. Celebrities boycotted the show. So he had them on, but they had to stay backstage. And he would wave at them through the corners. They'd be backstage. I'm here.
Ridiculous.
Can you believe? Well,
I can't believe they even did it. And there was one guy on Survivor that refused to go. Good for him.
I just said, go blank yourself.
Exactly.
So and we're seeing this celebrity attitude now with the blue check. And let me tell you something. I'm not. I don't think I'm a celebrity at that kind of level, but I'm a public person, a celebrity on a small scale. Anyone who follows me on social media. Anyone who listens to the podcast, listens to me on the radio, watches and subscribes to my YouTube channel or anything, I love all of you, and you guys are why I am able to do what it is I do. Mm-hmm. And I love all the listeners except for Liberal Al the John. And I appreciate
Greg too.
Yeah, and Greg too. And I appreciate all of you guys, okay? And you guys are what make it all possible. And these celebrities, they hate their fan base. They hate you.
If you like Trump, they hate you. And I've actually seen many celebrities who have said, I don't want anybody who supports Trump to come to my movies or come to my concerts.
That Captain America.
It's just incredible to me.
Who was it? The Captain Marvel actress.
Yeah.
If you like Trump, don't come see my movie.
The singer Pink.
It's
just amazing to me. This is the party of tolerance. It's amazing to me how they can have so much hatred that they don't even want you to be their fan.
Exactly.
I mean, it's so bizarre. I don't understand it at all. And Jimmy Kimmel said the other day how when he came out against Trump, he lost like half his audience. And, he's still on the air. But like I said, I don't understand. Maybe they feel obligated to get political because they're a talk show and they're on every night. But I know Jimmy Fallon tried to stay really neutral for a while, and then he caved into the pressure. And he started attacking Trump. And I would have just taken a different tact. I would have been like, look, I'm not going to get political. This is going to be the apolitical show. And we're going to keep it light and fun. And, The View has just become a nasty. I saw a few episodes of The View when it first came on. I saw some on YouTube or something when Barbara Walters was on it. And it used to be an entertainment show. It used to be very light and had celebrities. And they would talk about movies and light things. And ever since Trump came along, they've become completely political now. And I don't understand. Does anybody watch this show? I know in our audience, they don't. I see clips. I do not understand why anybody gives a damn what Whoopi Goldberg or Joy Behar think about politics. They're just a bunch of, like you call them the coven. They're just a bunch of nasty, nasty witches. And I just don't get the appeal of this show and why it gets so much publicity. I really don't.
Well,
but it does. It's always in the Daily Mail. It's always.
You know what though? I don't watch The View, but something happens on it. I see it on Twitter, and then I'll talk about it.
I want to mention this one thing real quick. This story on the Daily Mail. I don't know if you saw it today. It was the top story all day. This girl at a university, this white girl, got drunk, and somebody was recording her, and
I saw this.
She got very nasty and called this one girl the N word. This black girl, like an NB word, okay, which is not nice. And she got arrested for something. I don't know if she hit her, but, I'm not defending her. But they want her expelled now. Now, if she hit the student, obviously that's grounds for expulsion. If it was on school grounds, but even if she got arrested, you can get expelled from a school for that. But if she just called her the N-word, that's not good. But I don't think that's worth being expelled from college. But here you got a girl, 22 years old, totally anonymous, normal person. And you got to assume people are recording you everywhere you go now. Somebody recorded her. She was totally drunk. I mean, we've all been drunk at some point in our life and done stupid stuff, said stupid things. I mean, look at Mel Gibson, done stupid things. I've never said the N-word when I was drunk, but, I did stupid stuff. What would it be like if somebody recorded you when you were in college or when you were younger, when you were out of high school, in your drunken stupor at a club, or me acting like a complete idiot, and then if we had the internet back then, putting it online,
it's crazy.
And then it's the top story.
It's crazy.
Of the Daily Mail. Now, she's not a minor, so she can't sue them like Nick Sandmann, but her whole life is going to be ruined now.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying she's not responsible, but when you get drunk, you do things. Sometimes you don't even remember what you're doing. You lose your inhibitions. I'm not excusing her, but is her behavior really worth somebody recording her, putting it online? To me, that's almost worse. And now she's on the Daily Mail all day. That story was there. She's going to get kicked out of school. She's been arrested, which, if she hit somebody, she should be. But it's just incredible to me how a normal person can do something and people record her, and then boom, all of a sudden you're the top story around the world. Well, that is frightening.
The crime that's getting her in trouble is the language, not the violence.
She got arrested but what did she get arrested for she hit her or something?
Yeah, well, the public shaming she'll go through.
Yes. And that's worse than the assault.
Is the language is worse than the physical thing. And the problem is what happens because of the internet.
It's incredible.
These are permanent records. That's why Nick Sandmann got such a big settlement, because she'll
never get a job.
These things,
it's incredible to me.
From now forever, okay, she'll go to apply for a job. They'll Google her, and this will come up. She won't get a job.
Never. And I'm not saying she's not to blame, but when you're drunk and you're young, that's a bad combination. She's like 22 years old, a pretty girl, probably hasn't had a lot of adversity in her life. People probably kiss her butt because she's a pretty girl. She gets drunk. She gets in a fight with somebody, and she's like Michael Richards. She says something stupid.
Yeah.
And he was on stage when he did it. Totally destroyed his career. She said the N-word, not a good word, but that word's in every rap song and hip hop song around the world now. And is it bad that somebody uploaded this and the Daily Mail went with it?
No, I agree.
It's terrible. Is going to destroy her life.
It's terrible.
Is what she did worth that price she's going to have to pay? Tell me what you guys think, because it's terrible. Things like this happen all the time. But now she's being labeled a young Karen. They want her expelled. And like you said, if she ever applies for a job, they'll Google her now.
Yeah, then you're done.
And she's done. Just assume everywhere you go, you're being recorded, and just be on your best behavior.
It's terrible.
Because let me tell you, that is scary to me.
People's lives get destroyed like this.
I just couldn't believe that story was there
all
it's
terrible.
Day. Like I said, I'm not condoning what she did or said, but I think the punishment is not necessarily fitting the crime.
The problem is when someone does something,
a lifelong thing.
When somebody does something that's wrong like that, it becomes a lifelong punishment.
That's what I mean, yeah.
And it's just out of proportion to what they necessarily. Now, listen, we're going to take a break. When we come back, there's a lot more to talk about. Don't go anywhere. I'm Brian, of course, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll be right back.
Parents, grandparents, and teachers, there's a book for your middle schooler that you don't want to miss. Zoya's Journey, a children's book that brings magic to life. Join Zora on her adventure of self-understanding, growth, and acceptance. If you're a fan of adventure stories with a magical touch, you'll fall in love with Zoya's Journey. It features gorgeous, awe-inspiring illustrations for both children and adults to enjoy, bringing the story to life with every page. Zoya's Journey will teach your children the importance of being resilient and encourage them to love themselves for who they are. Be a part of Zoya's Journey. Visit Zoya's Journey on Kickstarter.com to contribute and get your copy of the book Zoya's Journey on Kickstarter. How far would you go to find your destiny? Danger lurks in plain sight, but passion is blinding. Join Geneva as she embarks on a journey full of lies, fear, and heartbreak in the new book, Face of Duplicity, from authors Faye and George Chamberlain. Face of Duplicity is a psychological thriller that will keep you clinging to the page until the very end. It's full of unexpected twists and turns, packed into a story that will keep you questioning who to trust. Push the limits of desperation and passion. Get lost in a story of obsession, murder, and pursuit, where people are not always who they seem to be. Face of Duplicity, from authors Faye and George Chamberlain. Order your copy on Amazon or visit the author's website, chamberlainbooks.com. Get ready for a compelling story about life-changing experiences, unique discoveries, kindness, and mystical visions. Authors Faye and George Chamberlain bring you Connections Past, an inspirational mythic thriller. If you enjoy page-turning action and adventures, this is a book you will not be able to put down. It will take you on an exciting and thought-provoking journey. Could acts of kindness make this world a better place? 26 years after her mother's death, Geneva finds herself on a journey to fulfill her mother's prophecy. prophecy. Along the way, she meets improbable allies and is drawn into unknown realms. What follows is a mythic thrill ride of twists, turns, and self-discovery. Available in Kindle, paperback, and hardcover editions. Connections Past from authors Faye and George Chamberlain. Order your copy right now on Amazon or visit the author's website, chamberlainbooks.com. Let the power of God boost your productivity. Learn the secrets of a blessed and successful life through powerful Christian teachings, interpretations, and studies of the Word of God. Author Michael Abasori brings you the only book you need to transform your productive mindset. The Power of Productivity and Understanding God and Building the Life of the World and its Economy. Available on Amazon. In this must-read and life-changing book, you'll develop a deep understanding of how God impacts your life, the economy, and the world around you. The revelations of the Word of God shape and change the world, and you can learn to harness this knowledge and improve your life. Available in Kindle on Amazon. The Power of Productivity and Understanding God and Building the Life of the World and its Economy. From author Michael Abasori. Order your copy right now.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. Hey, guys, don't forget, do your Christmas shopping at MyPillow.com. Huge savings, huge specials. And, I was talking today about the MyPillow bathrobes. I have one. Kathy has one. They make great Christmas gifts. And by the way, any special you see at MyPillow.com, you can take advantage of with our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, not just the products I feature, but the MyPillow bathrobe, which is just a spectacular bathrobe, is 50% off. This is the lowest price ever on the MyPillow bathrobe, 50% off with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And it makes a great Christmas gift for everyone on your Christmas gift giving list. Your spouse, your children, grandma, grandpa, your brother, your sister, your employees. It just makes a great gift. And it's very high quality. We've had our MyPillow bathrobes, I don't know what, since they came out, a year and a half or more.
Yeah, they're really, really cozy.
And I took mine to work at the radio station today and forgot to bring it home. I couldn't believe it. My hands were full. I left it at the radio station. But that bathrobe looks like the day it arrived. It because everything Mike Lindell makes is a very high quality.
It's true. You could say that about everything. And we wash his stuff, the sheets, the pillows, the towels, the robes. Everything maintains its integrity. You know, after a while, and I wash everything in super hot if it's like linens. And after a while, you can tell. Like we have some towels we've had for 5 years or 3 years, some other towels before we bought these, and they're already like no good anymore. All the ones we've had, and we've had them for a couple years now, are just as nice as they were the day we got them.
And the bathrobes really fantastic. Come in many different colors. They even have pink for ladies, and there's two different styles, the heavy and the light. We have the heavy, and they're very high quality. The other special I'm telling people about, because this is a huge one too, is Mike Lindell's coffee, the My Coffee, which comes in whole bean, ground, and the Curate cups, 50% off at MyPillow.com with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, and you get a free travel MyPillow, the Go Anywhere pillow with it, but you got to use the promo code KANE. All these items make great Christmas gifts, and please use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. All right, so tomorrow's the big blue flush, excuse me, the red tsunami, and you know, this country has really made a transformation, and it's because of Donald Trump. And let me tell you how this happened. A lot of people haven't really talked about this or even thought about it because things are moving so fast. You go through the polls, and we're doing well all over the place. And, you know, the chances of us winning everything that Trump has endorsed are, you know, that's pretty slim, but you never know. And, you know, what's happened is amazing, and it's all because of Donald Trump. But I think what Donald Trump did the most, with the most success that's led to this, is his total discrediting of the fake news liberal media.
Yeah, I think that was the beginning of it for them.
When we were growing up, these media people were gods, and no one questioned them, and you just assumed they were telling you the truth. And when President Trump started calling them out with fake news and holding them accountable, people for the first time started saying, well, yeah, these guys, they're a bunch of liberal hacks. They lie to us. And the media has lost its ability to do what it's done for years and years and years and done forever. And that's slander people that are conservative, that are running for office. I'll give you an example. Herschel Walker. You know, the election is tomorrow. They have no more surprises. It's over. They tried with this abortion thing, and it not only did it fizzle, he gained points in the polls.
I think people have realized, because these things used to work, these scandals.
Yeah.
And I think people have come to the point where they overlook those things because they realize there's just things that are more important. And I think with Trump, they had a candidate that was not Mr. Perfect, squeaky clean like Obama, you know, like super polished. And they realized, you know what, we can elect somebody who's not, you know, as polished, and it's okay. You know, we like when Jerry Falwell Jr. came out and said, look, you know, he might not be the ideal Christian. You know, he's been divorced and all this, but who cares? There's other things that are more important. And I think people have been realizing this. Like, who cares what he did in his personal life? Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter. It's no longer going to sway voters when they can't afford to put food on the table and they can't afford to put gas in the car and they have real life problems. They're just willing to overlook these things, and any sex scandal or abortion scandal or any kind of scandal like that they throw in at the last minute. Why do you think these women come forward right before somebody's about to get appointed or right before somebody's about to be elected? How come they didn't come forward a year ago or when he first announced he was running? Because they want it to be, you know, timely, and they want it to happen right before the election when it's fresh on your mind. I mean, these things are planned and strategized. And I think people are just burned out on all of this. Because it's you know what I mean? They're just like, oh, here we go again. They've become desensitized. People have become desensitized to this. And I think it started with Clinton, with that whole scandal with Monica Lewinsky. And that was pretty scandalous. I mean, it was crazy what was going on. And he still got reelected. And he was impeached and everything. And the voters were like, who cares? You know, the people that supported him, they said, we're going to overlook this. It doesn't matter. And I really think with him, it kind of started that whole trend of overlooking these scandals for the greater good. And that's the way you have to be. No candidate is perfect, but you have to elect people that are going to vote the way you want them to vote, that are going to turn the country around and support Trump and vote for the MAGA agenda.
Well,
I mean,
you know, the media,
that's more important than Herschel Walker's sex life. I'm sorry.
The media, even we don't even know if those things are true, but
I mean, exactly. Who cares?
The media is an extension of the government.
That's
and the, you know, I've used this example before, and a lot of people don't, maybe I don't explain it well, but the Hunger Games, there were two movies that are very political movies about the world we live in, okay, in this country. One is the Hunger Games series, and two is The Matrix. The Hunger Games and The Matrix, okay? The Hunger Games is so relevant right now. If you I like The Hunger Games, okay? They made one movie to this, was it the third? The third one could have been skipped, but anyway, The Hunger Games, if you go to The Hunger Games, it takes place in the United States far in the future, and they have all these different districts, and they're run by the Capitol. And everyone in the Capitol has so much food they throw up, right? Like the Days of Rome, it's in the movie.
Yeah.
And everyone in the country is a slave to the Capitol. Now, the Capitol in the Hunger Games was in Colorado. I think it was Boulder. I didn't read the books. I only saw the movies, okay? But
and there's how many districts?
I don't know, 12
or 13?
Yeah.
Like the colonies.
Yeah, I think it's 3. And the Hunger Games is a conservative storyline, a conservative book, a conservative movie franchise, and Jennifer Lawrence and these people are too stupid to know.
It's an anti-government,
but,
I don't
know. It's not anti-government.
Anti-swamp,
it's
like the establishment.
Yeah, exactly. And what we have in this country is the Capitol against the whole country. And you look at, and that's what you see here. And the media are an extension of the Capitol. And in The Matrix is a very conservative movie. In The Matrix, everyone thinks they're alive, but they're not. And they're in those little tanks. And what they do is they use their body heat, the power, the matrix. Mm-hmm. That's what we are to the government. We are organisms that excrete money that they can use to enrich themselves and their donors, the tax money. And the Hunger Games and the Matrix are very, very conservative in their messaging. No one picks up on that, I don't think, too much. And I know that the filmmakers and all of them deny it because it's bad for their business, but they're liars. And what's happened since Trump came down the escalator is, this thing about being woke. It's the MAGA people that are. I know they say awake. We're the ones that are really awake, and we understand what is going on here. And people are fed up. Like this, President Trump last night had a rally in Miami, and I think that was his best speech he's ever given. We watched that whole thing last night, and it was.
I wish he would have announced.
So good.
Everybody was excited how it was raining, and he looked up and blew a kiss to God, and it was very emotional, and people were crying, and he must have a very specific date in mind because he's had many moments where he really could have taken advantage of that moment, and it would have been amazing. Mm-hmm. And, maybe he's not as spontaneous as I always thought he was, because if he was more spontaneous, I think he would have just got caught up in the moment and announced it last night.
Did.
But
he almost did.
But there is some reason, and it's got to be the midterms. I think he's really waiting for the midterms and to see what happens. I think he's going to announce anyway. He basically said he is, but I really wish he would have. I think it would have given great momentum going in, and it would have looked like he was leading the charge.
Well, it came out of his campaign over the weekend that he's going to announce on November 14th. And a lot of people are saying that that's a significant date because 11 for November plus the 14 plus 22 for the year equal 47.
It's true. I added it up. So it's into numerology.
And I don't know if Trump is into numerology or not, but that seems to be just too much to be a coincidence. 11 plus 14 plus
22
is 47. So I don't know.
He's really into symbolism.
I don't know. He could be.
That's the only reason I can think of that date.
Yeah.
Because there's no other importance to that date.
But
so that's interesting to me.
I would like him to announce it in Ohio. I would rather him do it here in our state of Florida. But he's got a rally tonight in Ohio, and I would like him to announce it there. And I'll tell you why. Because it's the last rally, and I think him announcing, if he would have announced last night or over the weekend or tonight, it'll give a little extra push for people to say, you know what, this is important because Trump needs these people. He's coming back.
Yeah, I think last night was a missed opportunity, but he clearly has his reasons. I don't know what they are, but it would have taken everybody by surprise. And I think it would have really given so much momentum and excitement going. Now, like you said, it could happen tonight. I really would like to see. Then to me, it looks like he's not announcing based on what happens. He's a leader, which he is, and he's going to announce regardless. He's already basically said many times he's running. So I don't know what he's waiting for, but I really wish it would have happened in Miami yesterday. It was a great moment, and I was waiting for him to say, you know what, I got an announcement to make. I was going to wait, but I'm going to do it tonight. I thought he'd get caught up in the moment.
Yeah,
and we heard from one of your listeners, Yummery, who went there. She lives in Miami, and she was saying how wonderful it was, and everybody was crying, and it was so emotional. And so that's really amazing,
Well, listen, we're all out of time for today, but we will be back next time. This is a big week, and there's a lot going on, so don't miss a single episode. Mm-hmm. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and we will talk to you next time.
Are you a conservative looking for a new podcast to add to your playlist? Then add The Last Gay Conservative with your host, Chad Law, to your podcast playlist. Chad has spent his entire life defending his political beliefs. He's a self-educated expert on all things politics, U.S. history, and most importantly, common sense. He's traveled around the world learning from some of today's leading political scientists. Twice a week on The Last Gay Conservative podcast, Chad destroys political stereotypes and challenges the experts exploitation the left uses for their own personal gain. You'll learn, you'll laugh, and love having the tools to take on your own version of the mob. Join Chad Law by visiting thelastgayconservative.com and tune into The Last Gay Conservative on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Share the podcast on all of your social media. The Last Gay Conservative. Start listening right now.